First of all, thank you, Howard. Thank you, G. Thank you, the entire crew, for having me here. I got 30 minutes with you guys, and I got about an hour's worth of information that I'm going to cram into into you as much as I possibly can. So here's my request for you, really quick. My request is, number one, I need you to take a lot of notes, okay? Because I'm going to go tactical on your butts today. Is that fine, guys? Yes or no? Okay, you're not here for fluff. You're here for, like, my goal is to have you double and triple the number of appointments that if you're a solo agent that you're doing, or if you're a team lead that your team's doing. How many of you want to have 2, 3, 4 simple hacks that you can use that your agents will actually use that will cause you to double or triple the appointments and increase the margins that you have in your business? Raise your hand, say aye. Okay, do me a favor, turn to your partner, punch them in the arm and tell them to wake up on the count of 3. Ready, 1, 2, 3, give them a wake up, a little wake up. So I'm going to ask you guys, take a lot of notes because there's going to be a lot of information that I'm going to actually be going over with you, some of which you won't be able to capture, so you're going to have the slide deck, some of which you will be able to capture. And you guys know, anytime you write something down, you remember 6 times more of the information. So please do that. Number 2, I need you to bring a ton of energy for the 30 minutes that I'm up here. Will you do that for me, guys? Yes or no? Will you do it for yourself, actually, okay? And you know, I work with the average agent. Can I step down on stage, or am I screwed if I do that? I'm good. Okay, cool. You guys good with this right here? Can you see me? Can you hear me? I want to be down here with you. I work with agents on average that will range anywhere from, right now, my private coaching clients are ranging anywhere from about $2.75 to $3.1 million in top line revenue, okay? I'm very proud of that. I'm as proud of that as I am my kids, because they are like my kids sometimes, right? And here's what I know. I know that people that make a lot of money, and by the way, are you in this room to make a lot of money, yes or no? Yes. Oh, that was so pathetic. Are you in the room to make a lot of money, or you just want to sell more? What the fuck? Jesus, right? So, right? They have a lot of energy, right? And a lot of people go, well, of course they have a lot of energy because they're making a lot of money. And I'm going to tell you this, no, money follows energy. I would write that down. And the more energy that you have, the more money is gonna find you. Do you recognize that, yes or no? Okay, right? And do you see it in your, how many of you guys have teams? Raise your hand. You have teams, you have teams, you have teams. Notice that people on your teams that sell the most real estate typically have the most consistent energy across the board, regardless of what's going on in their life or their business, yes? Okay, and I want you to write this down. Speed of the leader is speed of the pack. Speed of the leader is speed of the pack. That comes from my buddy, Mr. John Maxwell. If you want your agents to actually have more energy, guess what? Lead the pack. Does that make sense? So today, I need you for 30, maybe 35 minutes to have a ton of energy. And if you don't, could you fake it for 30 minutes? Okay, let me ask you guys an honest, authentic question before we get tactical. How many of you have ever faked anything in your entire life? I want you to be honest and raise your hands. Get them up, get them up, get them up. Let me see. Okay, keep them up, keep them up. Guys, look around the room. The ladies got you beat 5-1 on this one. I'm just saying, okay? All right, I don't know where my clicker is. It's someplace up here. Is there a clicker? There it is. Beautiful. So how was Q1 of 2025, guys? Was it good? Okay. Like, for great agents, it was good. For normal agents, it was a bitch. It was difficult. It was challenging. You know, we were dealing with a market, and still are dealing with a market that is very volatile. Write that word down. It's important that you understand this, and because we got volatility for the next 45 to 50 days. What is volatile? Volatile isn't bad. Volatile isn't good. It's just indecisive. Have you felt that, yes or no? Rates are up, rates are down, okay? I was talking to a couple of my good buddies that own mortgage companies, and we were all in agreement. We would love it if rates could just get to one place and stay for 30 days. Wouldn't that be nice, guys? And because of that, really what Q1 was a moment and a continuation of uncertainty that's taken place. I want you guys to think about something. We have been living in an uncertain market for over a year now at this point. Have we not? Yes or no? Who's going to get elected? Uncertain. What's going to take place with mortgage rates? Uncertain. And the thing that I want you to understand as we work on some of the tactics today is this, is that people don't move forward aggressively with uncertainty. Do they, guys? Buyers or sellers sit back, they think, they wait, they try and figure things out, right? Sure, you have about 20 or 30% of the market that we're finding right now that is absolutely like, screw it, I don't care, we're moving forward, I'm buying, I'm selling, doesn't matter what the market's doing, but you got 70 to 80% that is waiting for someone to actually bring a narrative to them that gives them confidence and certainty. Write those two words down. And I want you to write it this way. I don't sell houses, I sell certainty. Period. Do you guys get that? You don't sell houses, you sell certainty. Certainty in the market, certainty in the investment, certainty in that right now is the right time. So, but here's the good news, baby. Does steel sharpen steel, yes or no? Yes. How many of you guys are sharp? Turn to your partner and go, he's talking to you, baby, and just give him like a towel, right? Sa, sa, right? Now, here's one of the things I want you guys to understand. So I'm going to take about 2 or 3 minutes. I'm going to give you like the overview of what it is that we do at our company. I built this company called G3, Coach Pipes Coaching, because I believe that real estate should be played at 7 figures. If you're not actually going for 7 figures, get the hell out of the way and make room for those of us that are. Does that make sense? How many of you guys are up for that? Yes or no? Yep. Okay? Yeah. Okay. And number 2, if you're already earning 7 figures, hell, let's add another 7 figures on top of it, right, guys? And if you're already earning a couple of 7 figures, let's get you netting a 7 figure, right? And if you're already netting a 7 figure, let's get your passive income to 7 figures. It's a game of 7 figures. Turn to your partner right now, big smile on your face, and just say 7 figures, baby, and give them a little high five, if you would, please. Okay. Now, what I'm going to jump in with you guys. How much time do I still have right now? Okay, very cool. There is no clock. All right, so every great 7-figure earner, and guys and gals, we've had 53 of them in the last 5 or 6 years. We've gotten 53 people over that 7-figure mark in the last 5 or 6 years. What I'm going to share with you here today is going to be the key conversion techniques that these guys are using. Most of the individuals that are on this page are users of FUB/Ylopo/Maverick, okay? I'd say 90 to 95% of the men and the women that are up there utilize that. And so I understand the game. The game is, and by the way, guys, I had my own real estate team. I had my own mortgage company, right? I had my own real estate franchise. Anyone remember Realty World? Huh? Yeah, exactly, right? A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, right? But here's what I know, and here's what you guys, and write this down right now, if you would, please. All great businesses centralize around 3 fundamental, what is up, Jeff? Great to see you, dude. That was the weakest high five I've ever done in my life, I'm just saying. Okay, yeah, appreciate it. We gotta work on that, man. Number 1, for yourself, solo agents, right? Okay, I'm gonna talk to both sides of the room, solo agents and team leads. Team leads. If you want a high margin, profitable team, number 1, it's gotta be skill-based. Does that make sense, yes or no? Okay, and skills are nothing more than this. I'm gonna go quick because I got limited time. Write down skills are conversations, dialogues, and techniques to move people forward towards their goal. That's all it is. They're conversations, dialogues, and techniques to move people forward towards their goal. I'm on a listing presentation. Hi, thanks again for having me over. I'm excited about getting your home on the market, getting it sold. Do you mind if I take a quick look at your home right now? That's a skill that I need to have. Does that make sense, guys? Where I don't need to think about it, where I can connect with someone. If we're going to talk conversion today, which we are, do you think there's some scripts, some dialogues, some conversations? Oh, today I'm going to give you something brand new. How many of you guys want something brand new that has never been taught before, ever on stage, right? That is going to absolutely effing crush it, and you're going to take this, and I was presenting it yesterday on a webinar, and everyone went like, oh shit. Yes. Do you guys want that, yes or no? Absolutely. Okay, good. So we're going to get there, but it's a skill. Write down standards. Number 2, standards. If you're going to succeed and if your team is going to succeed, you have to run it on standards. Solo agents, standards like this. How much time do you spend prospecting, right? How often do you follow up on your leads? By the way, big smile. Look up here. Everyone just give this to me. Say this because it warms my heart like no other. Say, Coach, I love to prospect, so I do it every single day with a big smile. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Coach, I love to prospect, so I do it every single day. You guys are so shitty at that. You did this. Coach, I love to prospect. But watch. If you're a team lead, you're prospecting for people. If you're an agent, you're prospecting for listings, and you're prospecting for business. Does that make sense? It never stops, does it? So give it to me one more time, like you really mean it. Say, Coach, I love to prospect, so I do it every single day. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Coach, I love to prospect, so I do it every single day. That's a standard. Does that make sense? Okay? That's a standard that you ultimately have. Does that make sense? Standard of what time you get up, what time you go to sleep, what you eat, what you don't eat, what you do, who you hang out with. Those are all key standards that will drive your business. And last but not least, write down the word strategy. Strategy. And strategy are people, processes, and systems that drive productivity, which means I can increase output, that drive productivity, which means I can increase output, and efficiency, which means I get more shit done in the time that I have. One is an output, the other one is an opportunity to be able to get more done. That right there, my friends, is the frickin' core. If all you did is focus on that for yourself and your team, do you believe that you could actually add 6, 7, 8 figures to your business? And the answer is definitively what, guys? Yes. So let's rock and roll, okay? So I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I've spent the last 30 years codifying, synthesizing this, getting clarity around it. There are 8 traits to 7-figure earners. Number 1, what does it say? There is a high level of what, guys? Competitiveness and a desire to do what? How many of you are in this room because you want to beat the crap out of the competition that you have in your marketplace and gain as much damn market share as you possibly can, serving clients and getting them in houses? Yes? Is that the, yeah? Okay, do me a favor, turn to your partner right now, big smile, look them dead in the eyes and go, I own you, on the count of 3. Ready, 1, 2, 3. I just own you. I own you. But see, you took time away from your family, traveled, did all the stuff that you're going to do because you wanted to win more. Number 2, they have developed world-class skills. Number 3, they have unwavering standards. Number 4, they're highly strategic. This is the crazy thing. Most of the 7-figure earners I know are highly strategic and only 3 to 4 key lead sources. That's it. It doesn't need to be complicated. Real estate agents are notorious for complicating the shit out of the most simple things, right? Okay? Turn to your partner and go, he's talking to you right now. Pay attention, right? Number 5, they track and monitor. Oh, everyone just say, thank you, G. Thank you, Harold, on the count of 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, G. Thank you, Harold. With what they have actually put together, Howard, yeah, thank you. What they have actually put together is an ability for you to be able to track and measure everything about your business and everything about the agents on your team. I love Maverick. How many of you guys love Maverick? Like, I literally, when they took me through this shit, I went, oh my gosh. As a coach, it is a game changer. And a lot of the data that I'm going to share with you here today is designed around that, right, with information that we've gotten, right, from the guys to be able to actually make adjustments and changes. Now, okay, here's this. We're going to talk closing. We are in a world where business rises and falls based upon your ability to be able to close a client to move forward. And write this down if you would, please. Closing is nothing more than connecting with people and moving them forward towards their goal. 100%. That's it. It's not some Grant Cardone bullshit, used car salesperson crap. Right? And I love Grant. There's a space for him, and it's called the used car sales lot. All right? And God bless him, man, because everyone's got to have their space and everyone's got to have their audience. But I'm going to tell you right now, the consumer in today's world that's buying a house is more informed, they're more elegant, and they've got more information at their fingertips than they ever have before. Do you guys recognize that and believe it, yes or no? The challenge is the information that they're getting is bullshit. They're getting it off of YouTube, and then they're getting it off of CNN, and they're getting it off of Fox, and they're getting it off of wherever. They are wanting information, but unfortunately, the access to information that they have, their compass is off. Make sense? And what our job to do is to educate the clients to be able to, so we can connect with them to move them forward towards their goal. I want you to understand, look at me, guys, all that side of the room. I know I'm over here, so just hi, how are you, right? Your job is your number 1 job in sales today. Please write this down. My number 1 job in sales, if I'm going to close, is to be able to control the narrative that my clients have about the market, period. To control the narrative that my clients have about the market. What is the narrative? The narrative is the story that they have adopted about this market and whether they should move forward or not. Does that make total sense, my friends? Yes or no? Okay. And you as a real estate agent, as I said, you sell certainty. Your number 1 skill is the skill to be able to control the narrative. If you're going to close, right? If you're going to be a closer, right? If you're going to move people forward, do you need to have a high level of belief? And the answer is what, guys? Yes, absolutely. You've got to. There's 3 things you've got to believe. You ready? Write this down, and we're going to try our best to get through all 3 of them. Number 1, you got to believe right now, best time to buy or sell. You got to believe in this market, period. If you don't believe in the market, You have no leverage in your conversations and your dialogues. You will never be able to close someone to move forward if you don't believe that it is in their best interest. Do you guys believe that this market is going to get definitive? I know Howard talked about it yesterday. Do you believe that this market is going to get definitively better in the second half of this year than it has been in the last 6 months and right now? Yes or no? Yes. I'm going to tell you guys, it's about to get hot, okay? Turn to your partner and go, hot like you, baby, and just give them a little high five. Come on now. Have some fun with me. Hot like you. No hugs. Not yet. That's for tonight after the party, all right? So, number one, you got to have a belief in the market. Number two, you have to have a strong level of belief in your skills and conversations. And then number three, you have to have a strong level of belief that you are the best agent for them to work with. I'm going to tell you right now, there's no other damn speaker that should be on this stage right now, no other coach that should be speaking right now to you than me, period. Okay, right? And if I didn't believe that, I shouldn't be on the stage. Does that make sense, guys? And some of you say, oh, well, coach, you got a big ego. No, I got confidence. Because the shit that I'm going to teach you works. Does that make sense? And no one else is going to teach you that. Look at me, guys. That is the level of belief that you need to have in yourself when you sit down and talk to a buyer or a seller, and they will buy into that. Does that make sense, guys? Yes or no? How many of you guys have ever met someone, you're like, I don't know what it is. I'm just sort of attracted to them. I'm just sort of pulled towards them. I just like I want to be around them. How many of you guys have ever felt that about anyone in your entire life that you met at first? Raise your hand, say aye. Turn to your partner and go, that's why I'm sitting next to you right now, sweetheart. Now, by the way, you will be calling your partner baby for the next 10, 15 minutes that I got you. So if you don't like your partner, find another one, sit someplace else, find someone more attractive. So here's the game. Right now, I know Howard talked to you guys about this yesterday. I'm going to take the next 5 to 7 minutes, and I'm going to show you why this market is going to feel like 2020, 2021 by the end of this year. If you do not believe that, you have no leverage to get people to get off their ass and do the actions that they need to do. No, and if you believe that, I don't care what script you have, it's gonna, I don't even need to give you a script, because if you got the belief, the right shit's gonna come out of your mouth. Does that make sense, guys? Yes or no? Okay, right? But I'm gonna give you some scripts and some dialogues and some AI hacks. Let's go, baby, right? That's gonna actually take that belief, and it's gonna be like throwing gasoline on the fire. So take a look at this. Please write down 72.1% of all buyers say that interest rates are what's impacting their buying. 72.1%. 72.1%. We are in a rate-sensitive market, are we not, guys? Yes or no? Yes. Okay? And I'll prove it to you. Rates came down to 6.6 for a brief hot moment, right? At the end of February. Do you guys remember this? The hell happened to the market? Holy shit, the phone's ringing again. We're back in business, baby, right? And it's not that you guys were ever out of business, but it got a lot easier, did it not, guys? How many of you guys remember August and September of 2024? Raise your hand. Okay, do you remember what happened then? Remember that 6-week run, guys, where rates came down in advance of the Fed meeting, right? That was projected to have a quarter or half a point drop, right? But we had the full point drop in August and September. Do you guys remember how hot it got in August and September prior to the election, everything going on, right? That is the rate sensitivity. Does that make total sense, guys? Yes or no? So the minute that we start getting some easing in rates, that is the main driver that's going on. Now, right now, we got a pissing contest going on. How many of you guys have noticed that? What's the big pissing contest? Well, we've got actually like 4 pissing contests going on right now, right? Okay, but the big one that's going on that's affecting us is between Trump and Jerome Powell right now. These guys are playing chicken right now. Have you not noticed it? Cut rates, I'm not cutting rates. Cut rates, I'm not cutting rates. Cut rates. It's like James Dean in a freaking like a chicken game, right? So, but eventually, and here's what I'm going to show you, within the next 90 days, you will see an easing in rates. And we've got 2 things that are taking place right now. Let me just give a quick economics. Number one, why did Trump extend the tariffs? Anyone know?
Level the playing field.
Okay, level the playing field. But why did he say I need 90 more days? Because he had 70 to 80 countries that came to him and said, hey, we're ready to negotiate. Okay, now look, I don't want you to be in your head about like political type of thing. I just want you to look at this from a negotiating standpoint. Does that make sense? When you get 70, or if you had 70 to 80 buyers, that actually came your way and said, I want to buy a house, would you say, I need a little bit more time? Yes or no? You'd say, I'd try and figure this out, but I need a little bit more time. And that's what happened. Now, that ends sometime in that 90-day window that he put together. I want you to write this down. That ends in July. Just pay attention to this. That ends in July. July. I don't know. Sometime in July. All right? That's really up to them and when they actually get this done. Now, if you look here, this is the projection of what rates are going to do. Okay, now this is a dated slide. That was December 2024. We're still holding someplace around there. Okay, however, keep in mind there's an investment strategy that large institutional traders use called Fed futures. Has anyone ever heard of this before? Yes or no? Okay. I'm going to put up a QR code for you guys. Would you like for me to send you like all the resources, every place you need to go, everything that I'm talking about right now? Would you guys like that? Yes or no? Because for sure, guys, absolutely. Watch this. This is called selling in today's world. Does that make sense? My job is to educate you in the same way that I want you to educate your consumer, your buyer, and your seller. Because here's what I believe and here's what I know. An educated and motivated buyer or seller will always make more intelligent decisions. Does that make sense, guys? And educated and motivated. You got to have both. Why do you prospect? To find the motivated. Why do you follow up? To educate the motivated to make more intelligent decisions. Does that make total sense, guys? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, that's the game, right? Now, Fed futures are where institutional traders go, moving tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. They're speculating on what the Fed is going to do. If you've ever heard this said, look at me. The market has priced in 4 rate cuts. How many of you guys ever heard like the market talked about like that? Like the market's going to have pricing in 2 rate cuts, 3 rate cuts, 4 rate cuts. They're doing that based upon the speculative nature of the Fed futures. This is a site called cmegroup.com. I'll give you the link, etc. But I want you to look up there on the upper right-hand corner. What does it say? It says ease. That's the May meeting. If you look in the left-hand corner, what's the chance that we get a rate cut in May? I know you guys are old, I am too. That's 20%. We got a 20% chance of a rate cut in May. So for the next, guys, gals, look at me. For the next 45 days, buckle up, it's a volatile market. Does that make sense? Okay, volatile means it's up, it's down, it's not, there's no staticness to it. Make sense? Okay, so you're just gonna need to be able, and what can you do to change it? There's nothing that you can personally do to change the volatility of the market. Can you guys see that? Right? What you can do is just continue to educate your clients because you're going to have 20 to 30% of them that don't give a shit what's going on. They're going to move forward. Can you see that? But you're going to have another 70% that you're just going to have to take your time with. Because if you push them too hard when they've got fear, guess what they're going to do? How many of you guys have ever gone to jump off a high dive? You remember that? Long time ago, galaxy far, far away. Any of you guys remember jumping off a high dive? What happens if someone comes up and starts to push you to jump? What happens? You don't go, okay, cool, push me, right? You go, and you lean back. That's what some of your buyers and sellers will do if you don't recognize where they are. How do you recognize where they are? With one simple question. I'm curious, what impact has this change in the volatility in the market had? I'm curious, what impact has this change and the volatility of the market had on your desire to buy or sell in the next 6 months? Based upon their answer, you'll know, are they aggressive or do I need to cultivate and nurture the relationship a little bit more so that I wait for the market to change? Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Now look here. Look at June. June, what's the chance of a rate cut? Oh, turn to your partner and go, what's up, Gina? Okay, you're like, my partner's name is not Gina. That was never mind, okay? 72.5% in June. Now, by the way, I told you guys 90 days. Does that make sense? 90 days. 90 days we hit July. Take a look at that. Can you see that? What's the chance of a quarter-point rate cut in July, my friends? 93%. So we got a good chance in June. We got a better chance in July. Quarter-point drop by each time. If the rates actually, mortgage rates follow these base cut rates. Oh, but wait, there's more. How's September look? 98.3%. Now we're looking at 3 to 4 rate cuts that are going to take place. What does that mean? That means that there's a high probability chance that we could ultimately be in the low 6s. Any of you excited about a market that has low 6% interest rates? Yes or no? Now, guys, even with all this happening, prices are still going up. I coach, anyone from Phoenix, Maricopa County? You guys are up 10% year over year as a market. Do you guys realize that? You're the #1 market in the nation, right now in terms of home appreciation. The market is still going to appreciate in terms of price, 3, 5, 6%. How many of you have markets that are still on the ascend in terms of prices, not the descend? Raise your hand, say aye. Just about every single person in the room. So watch this. If I'm a buyer and I say I want to wait, and rates come down, like down in the low 6% by the end of the year, and I say, I'm gonna wait 6 months, right? Prices are going up. What's gonna happen to the competitiveness and the level of inventory that exists the minute that we get rates below 6.5, somewhere to the low 6s? What's gonna happen, guys? Yeah, tell me, what's gonna happen? It is gonna, we're already seeing bidding war. Do you guys realize that? How many of you guys have in the lower end multiple offers that are taking place right now? That's how it starts. Do you guys realize that? It starts at the bottom and it works its way to the top. Do you guys get that? You've seen it. I don't need to tell you. You've experienced it, right? You got to pay attention to the signs that are actually in front of you. And if you cannot educate the buyer, you cannot close them. Does that make sense? This right here is what I would bring to every single buyer, believe it or not. Right? And every seller that needs to buy as well too. I'd send this out to them. I'd say, are you familiar with Fed futures? Do you know who Fannie Mae is? Do you know who Wells Fargo is? Do you know what their projection is? Right? I am raising what's called, write down, I need to raise my AS. I need to raise my AS. I need to raise my AS. What is my AS? AS stands for, by the way, turn to your partner, put a big smile on her face. You guys want to have some fun? Put a big smile. Come on. This is the energy part. Look your partner up and down and go, you got a great AS, baby. On the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Got a good looking AS. AS. AS stands for authority score. As a salesperson, especially a real estate salesperson, we as an industry have a very low authority score. And the minute we start talking data over drama, the minute that we're bringing them data, our authority score goes up and the level of professionalism that they look at us with goes up and increases, and they begin to follow our lead. Does that make total sense, my friends? Yes or no? Okay? All right, cool. Oh, and by the way, last year we had 4.1 million sales. That number, 4.6, actually dropped down. We're projected to have 5.1 million sales this year. That's 1 million more sales, right? Yes. More sales, lower interest rates, more buyers that come in. By the way, one more data that's not up here that I'm going to give you guys. Write down for me if you would, please. Every 1 percentage point drop, 1 percentage point drop in rates brings 4 to 6 more million buyers into the market. NAR, Realtor.com stat. Now, let that sink in. If we had, the actual number was, I'll say it again, every 1 percentage point drop in rates brings 4 to 6 million more buyers into the market. We had a market last year that had 4 million sales. If we see rates drop down to the high 5s, that's 4 million more buyers into the market in a world where we had 4 million sales. What does that mean? It's 2 buyers for every property that's out there. Does that make sense, guys? Yes or no? Now watch this. What if this was the education and the sales process that you used or taught your agents to use on your team? That we use the data to be able to educate the clients, to be able to have them feel certain, and to be able to move them forward. This is what's needed in today's information world. Does that make sense, guys? Yes. Okay? Now, one last thing here that we need to see for this whole thing to move. There's a 3-letter word. What is the number one thing that's driving inflation right now, guys? Not tariffs, not fear. Do you know what it is? It's a 3-letter word. Oil. We needed oil prices. I said this at the beginning of January. We need oil prices to come down. Why does oil drive inflations? Because we got to produce the goods, and that requires energy. Then once we produce the goods, it requires gas. Right? Either to fly them, to put them on a train, or to put them on some type of transportation to get them to the location. If oil is expensive, then we bake in the cost of that into the eggs, into the milk, into everything. Can you guys see that? Right? We needed oil to come down. It was one of the things that I said at the beginning of January, and here's what I want you to see. Oil has dropped 23% since January the 15th. We have everything that is in place for this market to ignite in the second half of the year. Do you see that, guys? Yes or no? Okay. And if you should clap this up because it's freaking exciting to actually look at this. This is, hey, my friends, this is the shit you've been waiting on. is right here, is this. This is why you've been grinding for the last year. As 20-something% of the agents have gotten out of the business, you've been waiting for this moment that's going to hit you in June and July. So what do you need to be doing? You need to be, here's your number one assignment from me as your coach. Prospect your face off to fill the pipeline of business so when it turns, you are shooting fish in a barrel, period. Does that make sense, guys? You got to, yes, you got to get off your butt. I'm telling every solo agent that I have, you need to have 50 to 60 leads that want to buy or sell in the next 90 days. Coach, I don't have that right now. It's because you haven't been prospecting enough. Guess what I want you to do? 2 to 3 hours a day of lead generation, right? In order for you to be able to actually fill that pipeline so that when June, July comes around, man, like you've got plenty of people to work with. Can you guys see the validity of that? Yes? Okay. Everyone just give it to me one more time. Coach, I love to prospect, so I do it every single day. Ready? One more time. 1, 2, 3. Big smile. Coach, I love to prospect, so I do it every single day. Here comes Bull Run 2.0. I promise you guys. And by the way, I've had a very, very, very influential person inside Wall Street. I'm going to say this. Don't hold me to it. I said, where are rates going? He said to me, and this is a very bearish individual. You guys understand what bearish means? It means he is not optimistic. He has never been optimistic on rates. He actually called the rate increase back in October when we actually saw the Fed cut rates by 0.5 point and then mortgage rates went up. He called that, right? I said, no way that's going to happen. He said, yes. I said, where are rates going, Pavan? He said, it's really simple, Bill. If 2 things can happen, we're going to see a substantial drop in interest rates. Substantial. Okay? Wait till I tell you what substantial means. He said, number 1, we need to get the war in Ukraine over, period. That needs to end economically for the entire world and for us here in the U.S. And number 2, we need to avoid a war with Iran, right? Which I guess was a big deal, right? But, now we got negotiations going on, et cetera. He said, if those 2 things can happen, I go, how substantial is the drop? You ready? Don't hold me to this. This is coming from someone, a big source. He said we could see the number 4 again at the beginning of interest rates. Okay? Now here's what I said. Bullshit. But I also said bullshit when he told me rates were going to go up, right? And so then I had a secondary person on Wall Street, the hedge fund manager that I was talking to, that told me the same exact thing. Guys, buckle up. Get your team ready. Recruit your faces off. Bring people in right now to your team. Because here's what's going to happen. Those C players are going to look like B players in a really good market. Does that make sense? Now, I don't want you to just go get bodies for the sake of bodies, but I want you to be able to actually loosen up your recruiting funnel just a little bit, right? Because if this market, how many of you guys remember some agents in 2020 that were on your team that you're like, that when 2023 came around, they went from hero to zero? Yeah, do you know some of them? Yes or no? Okay, I mean, they're probably not on your team anymore. Well, we're going to see not zeros, but we're going to see average, look good. We're going to have good agents, look great. We're going to have great agents look excellent because the market's going to be winding their sails. You got to recruit, build, and have the bench for it. Now, let's jump into tactical. Do you believe in the skills? Oh, these next 10 minutes, we got some meat. So, did that help, guys? Yes or no, by the way? Okay, because I wanted, my number one job was to sell you on the market. And by the way, team leads, raise your hand. Okay, you got to be selling your team on this as well, too. Does that make sense? Every single week, you need to be bringing them the data about what's taking place in the market. This is a 10 by 10 principle. This right here came straight from Howard, from G, from Gabe, from the entire team, right? There is data. 48,000. By the way, there's a gentleman by the name of Edward Deming. Edward Deming, many of you probably don't know who he is. He was back in post-World War II. He went to the car industry, and he said, there's a better way for us to be able to actually do manufacturing. And they said, okay, tell us about it. He said, instead, we want an assembly line, right? Because it was assembly line at that time, but understand the assembly line for the car manufacturers looks something like this. The 7 of us right here all worked on one car. Does that make sense? From start to finish. And we assembly lined it all the way down. Deming came in and said, there's a better way to do this. You want to have one person that does one thing and turns it over to the next person that does one thing and turns it over to the next person that does one thing. He said, I think that you can, we haven't proven it, but we believe that we could actually increase productivity 35 to 50%. He brought it to Ford. Ford said no. Brought it to General Motors. General Motors said no, thank you. Guess where he went after 4 times of being rejected? Japan. And guess what Japan proceeded to do over the course of the next 20 to 30 years to the U.S. car industry? Dominate and kicked our ass. How many of you guys remember that in the 1980s? Everyone had a Honda. Okay? Hyundai came out, right? Some of you are like, I never drove a Hyundai. Good for you, right? Okay. But they still kicked our butt. Why? Because of this process. Now, here's what Deming says, and this is really important. The earlier in the process that you can make a change, the greater the exponential impact it has on output. If I can make a change right at the very beginning of the process versus at the end, watch this. If I can change the number of appointments that I'm setting, it has, here's the graph of growth, it has exponential impact because it's happening at the beginning. Can you guys see that, yes or no? If I change my ability to be able to negotiate closing a contract, it still has an impact, but it's a smaller impact because it's at the end, not the beginning, okay? So what I'm about to give you is a beginning of the process. Ylopo did a study of over 48,000 follow-up calls by agents, and here's what they found. I love them for this because I love data. What they found is most agents, the average agent, only asked for an appointment less than 10% of the time on a follow-up call. Write that down. Less than 10% of the time. I see some of you shaking your head. They're on your damn teams. This is why you're so frustrated. It's why you're pissed off, right? It's because you want to find out what the hell's going on, have every call recorded by Maverick, and Maverick will tell you what the ask rate is. We did this with Colton. Did Colton crush it yesterday, by the way? Did he do a fantastic job? Colton's one of my personal coaching clients. I love him to death, man, right? And we started looking at this with Colton, and we said, holy shit, man, they are at a 10% ask rate right now, okay? Right, they're about 10 or 11%. I said, what if we actually just moved the needle on one thing and we got his team asking for the appointment? What would happen? Now, here's what Ylopo also gave us, right? You go back here. Of that, the acceptance rate on the ask was 10%. So if I had 100, follow me on the numbers. You guys ready? I have 100 leads that I follow up with. And I have a conversation. This is a conversation, right? I ask 10% of the time. That means I'm asking 10 times. You guys following? Of that 10% of the time, 10% are going to say yes. That means out of 100 follow-up calls, the average agent is going to set one appointment, okay? If we could move Deming style, the first move, and all that we did was get you asking for the appointment 50 to 60% of the time, not even 100% of the time, do you think that that would have a huge impact on the number of appointments that you're setting? And the answer is definitively, yes. Hell yes. And it's proven. We did it with Colton's team. We got them up to 57% ask rate. Now, by the way, the acceptance rate, pay attention, did not change based upon an increase in the ask rate. That was my concern. I thought if they're asking more, would the acceptance rate go down? No, it held solid at 10%. Now, can you change and improve the acceptance rate? Stay with me on this, guys. This is meat right here. For most of you, I'm giving you something that could add a couple $100,000 to your profitability right here without you spending any more money on any damn leads whatsoever, just getting better with what you got. So stay focused. Fair enough, guys? Okay, look at me, say, Coach, I'm focused right now on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Coach, I am focused. So with a 57% ask rate, we saw Colton's, the portion of his team that did this, increase the number of appointments that they got by almost 3x. 3 times. Now, why don't we ask? We don't ask because why? We're afraid they're going to say no. Well, what if they say no? You're in the same damn position that you were before asking. Now listen to what I just said to you. If you ask and they say no, you're in the same position walking away. Hey, solo agents, do you hear me? Right? Team leads. This is what you got to drill into your client, into your agents' heads. Right? And actually, you're not in a worse position. You're in a better position. Do you know why? Because they're probably going to tell you something about their situation or give you an objection or say something to you that's going to give you a little bit more insight so you can position yourself a little bit better for the next conversation. Can you guys see that? Yes or no? Okay? So now, I think the second reason we don't ask is we don't know how to ask. Well, watch this. If all you said is, do you want to get together? Is that an ask? That's not a great one, but it's better than none. Like, hey, yeah, when can we get together? Now, I put together 24 unique closes for you guys to be able to use that you could use for yourself, embedded with neuro-linguistic programming and high-level persuasive language. I'm going to send that out to you guys as well, too. Would you love that? Yes or no? Okay, beautiful. All right. Now, one more thing. Acceptance rate. By the way, this right here is the process of controlling the narrative. You need to be studying the market for 15 minutes every single day. Every single day, my friends. Going to Altos Research, big ups to Mike Simonson, big ups to Logan Mohtashami of Housing Wire. You need to be taking 15 minutes a day and studying the market like you were going to be tested on it, because you know what? You are being tested on it. Every single day you're being tested on it by your buyers and your sellers. Do you realize that? Your level of knowledge that you actually have is either going to move them forward or keep them where they are. So you got Altos, you got Keeping Current Matters, you got Housing Wire. If I was coaching you, working with you, right, it would be mandatory that you do this. Now I'm over by 1 minute, so I'm going to give you the last thing. This is the rate decrease script. Take a look at this. Very simple, very easy. You're going to notice one key thing. It says, line number 4. That's just the intro, 1, 2, 3. I'm curious, what are your thoughts around what's happening with rates? Now, notice I gave you the rate decrease script. Why is that? Because it's a higher probability the rates are going to decrease than increase over the course of the next 6 months. Fair enough, guys? I'll also send you the rate increase script in case we do have that volatility, and you can actually use that as well, too. But notice what I do on line number 4. Were you aware how this decrease in rates actually creates some urgency in your decision to buy a home? I'm using, because if I tell the client, hey, rates are going down, guess what they say? I'll just wait. Were you aware about how the decrease in rates actually creates some urgency for you to be able to move forward? Well, number 1, you're going to see an increase in competition because buyers are getting back into the market. Did you realize, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, that every 1 percentage point drop brings 4 to 6 million more buyers in the market? Now, they're not all coming here to Charleston, but we're definitely going to see an increase, and we're already beginning to see that. Number 2, you currently have more homes to choose from due to the increase in inventory. However, what do you think will happen to the number of homes for sale as more buyers enter the market? Okay, right? So now you're going to have to choose the house that you see versus the house that you want. Number 3, right now, you still have negotiating power with sellers since they're receiving fewer offers. But with more buyers, it means more offers, less negotiating power in the future. But the good news is you'll still be able to gain equity since the market is projected to continue to increase this year in value by 3, 5, 6%. I just switched the frame on them. Does that make sense, guys? All right? I had them change the way that they're looking at things. Now, here's the last little bit, and that's the close right there. Here's the AI. This right here, and I know it's really small, and I know it's difficult for you to see, and you don't need to worry because I'm going to send this out to you. This has been a game changer and a legit freaking killer when it comes to lead conversion and acceptance rate. You guys know there's this thing out there called AI. Really? Yeah, it's like this new emerging thing. It's really cool. You guys are familiar with ChatGPT, obviously. My goal is to replace myself with AI. I am not challenged by it. I am excited by it because the more time I have, like not having to do menial tasks, right, the more time I can be creative. Does that make sense, guys? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, AI is about to disrupt some asses. It's about to like crush some real estate agents. You should not be afraid of it. It's going to disrupt this market. You should embrace it. This right here is an embrace. You take your top 2 to 3 leads that you have every single day. Now, for ChatGPT to work effectively, what you need to do is you need to have really good prompts. Make sense, guys? That's going to be the direction that you have to give it, and you have to use it often. Prompts and often. Prompts and often. It gets to know who you are. My ChatGPT curses at me. Yo, what's up, coach? I got some fire shit for you today. That's what it says to me. I'm like, let's go, man. Like, I'm ready, right? This is no nonsense fluff. Here we go. And I'm like, ooh, man, right? It begins to know who you are. This right here, all you need to do is fill in the red. What the red is, lead name, insert name. Lead type, buyer or seller. Area of interest, insert location. Price range, time frame, pain points, goals or dreams, what I want to do next, total previous conversations. You don't change the white. Does that make sense, guys? The white is the prompt that I put together. I beta tested this. And by the way, you can trust that anything I give you has been tested thousands of times. This isn't theory. This is practicality taking place. You put that into ChatGPT, and guess what it does? It spits out a specific script just for that client. It says, here it is for Kathy. Here's exactly what you need to say to Kathy. And then all that you need to do is simply read the script. Does that make sense, guys? And then you prompt it a second time and you say, can you create an email out of this? Now you've got the email. And then you prompt it a third time and you say, can you create a text message? See, this right here, because consumers want, buyers and sellers want specificity where they feel like you're speaking just to them. The generalized scripts, I love them. They work fantastically. However, we need to actually use the AI and use technology to be able to have our skills improve with better conversations. This is a game changer, guys. Okay? Now, if you want that, let me go here. There we go. Let's go back. If you want the 24 closes, you want this entire deck. And I'm also going to do something really special for you guys, and then I'm going to hop off stage here. We have a subscription. It's called G3 Nation. Every single morning I run a huddle, right, for 30 minutes, about the time that I had you this morning, right? And I'm doing scripts and role play, etc. I'm going to give, and then every Tuesday we actually have a webinar called our Campfire. I would like to give this to every single person in the room and every single one of your team members for absolutely free for the next 21 days that you guys can plug in and be able to allow me, if you have a team, to do some heavy lifting and be a different voice. And if you're a solo agent, to be able to actually have some structure to you crushing and starting off your day right. Would you guys like that, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, you guys are welcome. So we'll just assume that if you do that, my team will follow up with you and they'll get you all set for it. So guys, as we end here today, I want to give you one last thing. Write this formula down. B equals P plus E. B equals P plus E. It's the most important formula. Your behaviors, B stands for behaviors, the things you do, the actions that you take, are equal to the P, which is the people that you're around, plus the E, which is the environment that you are part of. It's the most important equation you have ever seen in your entire life. You want massive success, you want great relationships, you want health and vitality, you want to have a business that thrives, get around the right people. Turn to your partner and go, he is talking to you right now, baby. On the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. He is talking to you right now. And stay in the environment of the rooms like this. Keep growing. Stay around the right people, right? And I guarantee you, you will see your success improve. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I so appreciate every single one of you.